I do not want to consent either. I do not want to be recorded.
Then hang up then. Then you don't need to be part of it. Record it. We want it for a record. We're not playing games. This is where men are men and women are women.
Okay. Being recorded. People, hold on. If you want us to help with this, Roger is running things. Everybody yield to Roger, please. Roger, go ahead.
Okay, so if we have a discrepancy here where some people want to record and others don't, the issue about recording generally is that we're after the truth, we're trying to get to the facts, and there shouldn't be a reason why we wouldn't want a recording. Could someone please put forward the reason why we don't want a recording?
Because Joseph has been putting out conversations of mine behind my back without my consent, and this is Marshall Dixie.
Okay.
Well, anything you put on Facebook by federal law is consent. Read the federal court case.
Okay, hold on a minute. Roger, what about recording this and agreeing not to publish it? I mean, you see if you can find a resolution to this so that we can get this handled, please.
Yeah.
Well, I definitely want a copy for Dave.
Right from the get-go, there's a problem here, and it's we have a lack of trust on both sides. So the lack of trust leads to the point where we have a breakdown where it's unlikely that we can find a mutual acceptable ground between recording and not recording. Unless one side's willing to compromise, we're at a standoff.
If I may?
Yes?
My idea is pick a jury. Let this go to a jury and let the jury decide what the facts are and what's going on here.
Oh, is that our friend from Maine? Hello?
It was Paul from Kansas.
I saw okay, so I guess you're the chair of the jury, so everybody else and Bruce and everybody else beside me and Dixie cannot be a part of it, so you're all the jury, so...
Hey, I'm not talking about picking a jury right now, postpone it until the jury...
Wait just a second. Wait just a second. If we're going to take up the time and effort of a jury, do we have a controversy here where we have someone that is claiming to be an injured party and someone that is putting forward a complaint?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Then it could make a lot of sense to use a jury. Do you have an objection, Marshall Dixie, to using a jury?
Absolutely not.
Being recorded.
And Ed, do you have an objection?
Well, I mean, I really don't have an objection at all. I just want this whole thing just to come out because I don't know what the heck her problem is. The only thing is I know, which she started with me and Tim, whatever that is.
Okay, so let's just stop.
I have nothing against her or nothing else, so that's where I just don't get it.
All right, so let me try one technique here, which is, Marshall Dixie, would you kindly step forward and define the problem? What do you define the problem as, please?
I have no problem doing that once Toasted stops recording.
Toasted, are you recording?
Yeah, I notified everybody at the conference it's still being recorded.
Yeah, and I authorized the FBI to tape my conversations because they already tape recorded my conversation. So is the Toledo Police Department in Lincoln County.
Well, that's not the only thing. We've got 13 other callers on this line who could be recording too. So
recording law says anybody can record so long as that you're talking and one person, one man or woman knows that they're tape recording the voice. That's federal and state law.
All right, I want to bring forth the record here. Tonight on the call, I wasn't muting anybody. I was being really lax about it. And then all of a sudden, I get accused of muting people when I wasn't. And then the accuser, I went ahead and I muted the accuser out because that's ridiculous. I'm the accuser.
Okay, people, hold on. We're not going to get anywhere unless we be polite and everybody stops walking on one another. Now, Roger has the floor. Roger asked a question. Roger, continue, please.
Yeah, Marshall Dixie, would you be willing to put your definition of injury in writing so we could have it go before jury?
Can I just do something a little bit quicker and easier?
What would you suggest?
Pulling my oath. I no longer want to be Marshall. I no longer want to be part of this. I'm not going to sit here and be terrorized by anybody for stuff I don't even know what's going on, because I haven't been around my computer in days due to packing. I have 2 kids I raised, one with disabilities. I don't have time for any of it.
Marshall Dixie, if you would, we don't want you to do that. That's not what this is about. We're trying to help everybody here. So please.
Right, and can I add something to this, Dixie?
Hold on. Roger has the floor. Ask for the floor, please.
All right, may I?
Just 1 second. So, in terms of moving the ball forward, Marshall Dixie, we would much prefer that you not take that decision unless and until we try to solve the problem and you're not happy with the solution.
It's her choice to make. It's her choice to make. If she wants to make it, let her.
Wait a minute, may I?
No, you may not.
I have a right here, see that I'm involved in this.
She has the right to make a decision that she wants to make. If she wants to get out, she has every right to, and you guys cannot deny her that. Unless if you do, you are the
right to me. See, we get your point. This is the problem that. But this is where I would like to say something here.
Hold on. No, everybody stop. Everybody stop and stop.
And be quiet.
Tramping on everybody. Now, if you want Roger and I to help you solve this situation, we're welcome to do that. But you guys have got to stop being impolite.
If
Roger
I may.
has the floor. No, Joseph.
No, not.
You may not. Roger has the floor, and ask Roger for the floor. Now, Roger, continue, please.
Yeah, let me just finish. I'm not trying to force Marshall Dixie to do anything. I asked her, I made a statement that we would prefer her not to take the decision to resign right away, but of course she's free to do that. It is her free will decision. But I asked her, would she be willing to stick with the problem and give us a chance to solve the problem before she takes that decision?
You are not going to solve that problem until Toasted's out of here.
I'm waiting for her. I'm waiting for her.
May I, please?
Excuse me, I'm talking.
Dixie, you're listening to too many other people with confronting what you're saying I said or what I said by the other voices in the background who were the problem in this whole thing that got you arguing with me in the first place. Wake up to the problem.
Oh,
I never said nothing about you.
Ed, you got to stop.
You didn't ask for the floor.
Yes, you didn't ask for the floor, so you don't have the floor. Roger, I hope you can keep control of this. I'm still trying to eat, so I'm jumping in here when I have to. People, we are trying to solve a problem here, and for everybody to do that, we've got to be polite with one another. Stop interrupting. Stop letting your emotions get the better of you, and listen to Roger, and we can help you. Now, we're here to help. Roger, I yield the floor to you.
Thank you, Bruce. Let me tell you, folks, the evidence that I'm sensing here is that we really don't want to solve the problem. Now, let's just get clarity on, do we want to solve the problem or not? Marshall Dixie, would you please answer that question? From your point of view, do you want to solve the problem, or would you prefer just to resign?
I would like to see the problem resolved, but we tried doing that before with Marshall Haywood. Marshall Haywood was on call with me, Toasted, and a couple others, and at that point she said that it was not a good idea to bring Bruce into this, and we all knew it would get to this point. And she said it was in the best interest not to bring Bruce or you, Roger, into this situation, even though I suggested to do so because we knew it was going to arise to this point. And I will yield.
Okay, well, let me stay with this. No, let me stay with the conversation with Marshall Dixie for now. What I'm really after is that you're one of the parties in this controversy, and I really want to understand your interest in either solving it or just saying, no, it's not worth trying to solve. From your perspective, do you want to try to solve it, or would you prefer just to resign and go your own way?
Well, may I have a word on that before she says something?
No.
Ed, no.
No. I'm not talking to you, Ed.
As much as I'd like to say yes, I don't think there's going to be any type of resolution because I don't even know why Ed's here. I have nothing against him, never said nothing about him. So
thank you. Why are we here? Because you're listening to other people. I never said anything to you.
Can we please mute him? Ed, you need to stay off until you're spoken to. Now, Marshall Dixie, we want to try to help everybody, and there is no need for, this disagreement to be breaking up anyone in this organization. And I heard from you say that you want to do this. So, Roger, if you didn't hear that, I heard her say that she would like to resolve this. She just doesn't think it can. I believe if you keep control of everybody, Roger, you can bring this to a resolution. So let's try to understand what the problem is to start with, because I don't even know what that is. I yield.
All right. I can answer the reason on why it started. It all started due to the fact that Judge D.W. Started his conference calls with Brian Parker before he even met Toasted. Toasted called on to DW, and they conjoined, as everybody knows, into the Rev News. Here a little bit ago, I came in contact with Tim Damron. I got Judge DW and Tim associated with one another, and they started going places, doing things. It got to the point where Tim's process, as well as Brian's, is a little bit different and a little bit further away from what the marshal and judges do. So we thought it was in the best interest to separate the calls. We weren't trying to not be friends with Toasted or stop talking to him or cause confrontations. We were just pulling Brian Parker and Tim's calls off because we thought too much confusion was not good for anybody. And we didn't want them thinking, oh, they're all about the same process when they're not. So Judge DW pulled the two calls away from him, and the next thing you know, things are going haywire, and I'm not sure why I'm even brought into this. I'm not even part of it, to be honest with you, other than the fact that me and Mickey were having a private conversation, which was private, in a Hangouts chat where it was only me and her speaking, and I was talking to Mickey. Yes, I admit, I was talking to Mickey about Toasted, about stuff that I heard, and I even mentioned that. But, again, I was being recorded by somebody who did not have my consent. I didn't even know I was being recorded, and then put it out there for everybody and their mother to see, which I'm sure it's still on YouTube, just privatized for his friends to see. But anyways, that's what really kicked it into gear. As for Ed, I don't even know what's going on with him. I don't even know why he's here, but I got personal text messages tonight. Like I said, I was nowhere near my computer as I've been packing for the past 3 days. Indicating that my name was being brought up and slammed under a bus at the beginning of this call, as well as my website, Lawful America, and as well as Tim. And I'm not even sure why Ed's even against me or Tim or anybody else, for that matter. I've said nothing about Ed or anybody.
Okay, Marshall Dixie, hold on just a minute. Roger, do you get what this is about still? I don't.
No.
So why don't you ask those questions? I'm going to turn it over to you. I'll mute up for a second. Let's see if we can understand what's going on, because I don't even understand yet.
So,
can I speak?
No, not yet. We're just asking to get clarity from Marshall Dixie's point of view what the problem is. And Marshall Dixie, I heard you say we took 2 calls away, and then who was hosting those calls?
Judge DW.
Okay. So he lost what in that case? He could still run his calls. He just didn't have them recorded, or what? What was the loss?
The problem with that is he pulled Brian Parker's and Tim Dameron's calls away from Rev News because they were not along the same process, along the same line. And people were coming to us saying, well, why are all these calls on one show when they're confusing everybody, when they're not along the same thing? And we agreed. We were like, okay, maybe putting these two calls on their very own station might be better because then they're not thinking, oh, it's all together. And at that point is when things started going downhill to the point where I guess Judge Mickey had a phone still on or something like that, and she was speaking with me privately in a Hangouts where it was just me and her. Nobody could come in unless they were invited in. And here, Toasted recorded it and admitted to it to Haywood. He recorded it and put it out there for people to see. And that's where my problem comes into play. But I have dropped it since. I haven't said nothing to nobody. I haven't done nothing to nobody. I went my way, and I thought for sure everybody went their way until tonight.
Okay. So now, Toasted, is it not your position that you are resigning from organizing and running the calls? Is that correct?
Yeah, on the 18th. I should mention that I was actually attacked on Wednesday night call before the call started.
You deserved it.
Appreciate that, and I'm going to yield.
If I may, real quick, and I'm going to actually get off this call once I'm done. Now, you have to remember when this thing went down and that call got recorded,
who was speaking, please?
On me. He said I was hacking the Hellcat while I was hanging out.
Judge CW, hold on a minute. Now,
this isn't DW.
Oh, okay.
This is Dimitri.
Whoever this is, hold on. Roger has the floor. You cannot grab the floor until Roger gives you the floor. No, if you want to be part of this call, then you have to wait. That's the rules. We can't figure out what's going on here with everybody just jumping in and getting angry about things. Roger will keep things calm, and Roger will give you the floor when he's ready. Now, Roger, continue, please. Thank you.
Yeah, so you can have the floor in just a second. I just want you to identify yourself, please.
This is Dimitri. I do all the website work.
Thank you, Dimitri. Go ahead.
So what happened that night is when Toasted was recording that call that Mickey and Dixie were having, Toasted came into our Hangouts and blamed it on me and said I was hacking their Hangouts and recording it. When I was well and known asleep, and you can ask DW, you can ask Mickey, and you ask Dixie, they all knew I went to bed. I did not do anything until finally later that day he admitted it, that he lied and that he was the one that was recording it because Mickey had her phone on. And she was still in the Uber conference. But for the simple fact that he would go in there and try to blame it on me and saying I'm the one hacking and telling DW that he needed to start running virus scans because I was hacking his machine on the side where he was just doing it himself, that kind of shows you the person that he is. He's very vindictive. And he lies. And
all right,
you have to know the truth, what really happened.
Okay. All right, yeah. I will make sure that recording gets to them, too.
Well, you can tell your wife that you did that as well.
Oh, she knows. She heard everything.
Good, she should, because you're the one lying to her.
And I'm not lying to anybody, man.
Then why
you're doing this for self-preservation and just to gain something?
Why did you
guys, hold on. Now, Toasted, you can't just come in without asking for the floor either. Roger, you have the floor again.
So, Toasted, if you're resigning and leaving the program, is there any reason why you're waiting until the 16th?
It's actually the 18th.
18th?
Yeah, we got a going away show scheduled on that day.
Okay. Okay.
Can you move it to tomorrow?
So I understand that now there's real strain between Dimitri and Toasted, which wasn't clear to me when we started the call. And it's a complete breakdown of trust. And usually that's very, very hard to repair. And it takes a lot of time to rebuild trust. So at this stage, it's not, in my opinion, it's not going to be productive trying to fix that tonight. But it sounds to me like between the controversy that I thought was between Marshall Dixie and Ed Johnston really is no controversy. Ed, would you like to comment on that, please?
Ed, gotta unmute. You're still called in under me.
Okay, am I here now?
Yes.
All right. Now, I would like to say, because Dixie and I got put in the middle of the game of Tim, Dimitri, and several others. Now, the one thing I want to add with Dimitri, several months ago, me and Dave gave a copy of her book we were supposed to get to the publisher that all of a sudden we never have. Then I'm watching this Lawful American site that just pops up all of a sudden using our structure as Lawful Bloodline American and Lawful Americans. Not only that, it's in my writings. It's all in the stuff I've served Congress. And not only that, the name is filed and recognized in the Oregon State House and Senate as Lawful Bloodline Americans and as Lawful Americans. And I already have this stuff filed in the House and Senate. So my problem started when I started seeing stuff popping up, even some of the stuff that even popped up out of our book came up, published out, that we haven't even finished got the book published. So that's where my faith and my distrust came in, because Dimitri was advised that he was going to do this stuff for us, and he never followed through. Okay, and then the stuff we did get back through that he sent back to me. But wait a minute, let me finish, and then you can respond back, please. I want you to. That's why I want this recorded for Dave, because we already had conversations with you as well, and this is why it disturbs me, because I've watched too many people get put in the middle of the structure because of a few men and women, because of whatever their gain is. Okay? So we gave and had faith in you. That never came back. Then all of a sudden I get this structure coming up with this new site that's almost identical to ours. And type it in, guys. Look at Lawful American Solutions. Lawful American Solutions, it says. All right? I don't have the problem with solutions. I really don't have the problem with Lawful Americans, but I do have it filed and recorded in the Congress with my name on it. Because that's the whole structure I've been putting and fighting back to put back. Because if we don't put our bloodline going back to the roots of this country and claim it, that's why they're doing a DNA test and wiping us out, because they start proving the bloodline that goes back. And this is where people don't get bloodline. It really does make a difference. All right? So they're wiping us out because they can't prove the bloodline going back to the Constitution. Now we have that. And the bloodline we have, if we don't start waking up and protecting this and start endorsing each other's instruments that we're filing on these cases, and quit arguing and bickering, because I have nothing against Dixie until all of a sudden, next thing you know, I'm getting thrown in this, and I start realizing, all right, I'm being baited, so who baited her?
So
and that's what I was trying to get to her when we would, before she got defriended me and then started attacking me for stuff that we got caught in the middle of somebody else's stuff.
Ed, for
so I yield, but I just want to make sure that a little of this reality comes out, because I know the players and I know what happened with Tim. I know about Byron Parker. Some of these guys I've been on talk shows with Brian and a whole bunch of stuff for years.
Ed,
I've been personally involved in this structure on the air for 15 years.
Ed, yield.
Let me ask you a question, please, Ed. So it sounds to me like you have no problem with Marshall Dixie, but you have a problem with someone who is copying your content. Is that correct?
Yeah, you can say that, because I don't have nothing against her. We got caught in the middle of somebody's game.
Well, the Lawful American...
Does that make sense?
Lawful America Solutions is my website.
How long have you had it?
I've had it since the beginning of summer, and at that point, I didn't even know who.
I've had mine registered in the Oregon State House and Senate since 1999. Registered.
Okay, well, I understand that, but Lawful American...
So I'm not arguing with your deal on it, and it says Lawful American Solutions. I don't have an issue because you're trying to do a solution. Does that make sense?
It does make sense, but I don't know why you're attacking my website when I didn't even know you when I made it.
Okay, well, anyhow.
So let me ask, Marshall Dixie, did some of the content come from Ed's content?
Absolutely not. To be honest with you, I'd say probably about 85% of the information within it belongs to Brian Parker. The rest of it belongs between Tim Damron and Marshall Haywood, which I got full permission.
You guys are getting off the internet.
Hang on one second now, Ed. So, Marshall Dixie, is it a possibility that some one of the sources may have taken some of the material from Ed's website?
I'm going to say no. I do not believe anything was copied from Ed's website, and if there is, I have no problem removing it. But until I see physical proof that...
Can I add something to that point? The point is that we're supposed to be working together if we're talking the Constitution. We're supposed to be educating people instead of arguing like children.
Yield, wait. Now, come on, we're trying to handle this peaceably. So, you can't just jump in. Roger, take the floor.
Yeah, Marshall Dixie just made a generous offer, in my view. She said that if you point out any content that is a duplicate of your content, she will take it off the site. That is a wonderful offer, a wonderful solution, my opinion. What do you think, Ed? Is that acceptable to you?
Well, it is acceptable, but see, the some of the stuff that they post and stuff, we go by the laws that are publicly known. Okay, so we read this stuff and publicize it. So the point is, so it's supposed to be shared, not where we're arguing about educating each other. Does that make sense?
Well, I'm not sure what you're saying. Are you saying it's okay if the material stays on our website as long as
I'm not arguing about the material because we're all supposed to be educating each other. We're supposed to be knowing how to live as free men and women.
What is your point? What is it that you're upset about?
Exactly.
I was upset dealing with the bickering and moaning that's going back and forth, and she starts going off on a point where,
we solved that. We solved that problem, and then we moved on to
so we know that we got caught in this thing, and so this whole thing has just been blown really out of proportion.
Ed, but you made a conflict out of the content. You brought it up as a point, and you said that it was a copy of your content. Now, Marshall...
Yes, and like I said, we are the lawful bloodline Americans. We are lawful Americans.
But are you saying that everything is acceptable if it's on the website Marshall Dixie is running? It's okay with you if it's your content?
I don't have a problem with that because we're supposed to be sharing and educating with each other.
Okay.
See, I'm still trying to figure out how we even got this whole thing blown out.
All right. So, Marshall Dixie, I think it's a great offer you made. If, for any reason, Ed, you decide later that any of that material is proprietary and not for sharing,
that's the stuff in our book. And if I find out, trust me, there will be a visit.
Marshall Dixie has made an offer that if you bring it to her attention, she'll take it off the website. Okay?
No, I heard it loud and clear, and it is recorded. Okay. So, but I just want to let you know, if anything shows up, especially out of our book, that we put together, there will be
Ed, we're not going there right now. We're trying to solve this problem and solve it peaceably for everybody. So, as long as you have no problems right now, then hold and I'm going to yield back the floor to Roger. If somebody wants the floor, ask Roger first. Roger?
So let me just summarize what I'm hearing. Initially, we thought there was a big controversy between Ed and Marshall Dixie. There really isn't, from both of them admitting there isn't. Then there's a controversy between Dimitri and Toasted where, in my view, from what I heard, trust has been broken, and it's very difficult to repair that. It takes a long time, and two people have to work together hard to repair trust. So let's put that on the shelf for now. And then the last piece of the controversy was the content, and we've resolved that because Marshall Dixie made a generous offer that if Ed will bring anything to her, anything that is objectionable to him relative to shared content, anything that Ed decides is proprietary, then she will take it off the website.
If I may?
Yes, go ahead.
This is Judge Mickey. There's another controversy you're not aware of. Well, you kind of sort of are. The controversy is the fact that after a call one night, as Dixie explained, I somehow hit my phone with my elbow. Unbeknownst to me, my phone was on. It was on what they call the Uber conference board. Toasted took advantage of it and recorded every single word of the conversation that was private between Dixie and I, my husband, and DW. And it was all a private conversation. He was asked to totally destroy that information by myself because he put it publicly on the internet, and then he sent a copy to all of us basically to show us, well, hey, this is what happened, and you were all cutting me down, and nobody was cutting him down to begin with. And so basically, he even said he was going to send you guys a copy of this call that he should have destroyed, which I politely asked him to destroy. And by evidence that he's giving it to you, he still has that call. And he put it out on his site over at YouTube so that his friends could listen to the information that was private between Dixie and I. Like I said, it came about because I accidentally had my phone on. I didn't know it was on till later, and I thought, gee, that was strange. And the only reason I knew it was on because all of a sudden I heard music through my phone, and it was the Uber conference music. So that must have been when Toasted got off. I don't know. But the fact remains, Toasted was very dishonest. He used that information against Dixie and I. He put it out on the web maliciously, and if he doesn't understand this, I do have a claim against him now for what he did, because he has harmed me in putting that out in public. And not only that, he published the number tonight of a private cell phone of the person that texted him tonight. He put their phone number on the call tonight on a call, and that was, I happen to know that that's a private cell number, and he was given that information privately. And there again, it's another breach and another way to harm, because what he's doing is he's harming the people by not allowing them to realize that their private information is going public. So how many people now have that private cell phone? How many ads is that person going to get? How many things are going to happen as a result of that? I think Toasted should be made also to clip the part of the call tonight that had that number on it, along with the text that followed. And I yield the floor.
Yeah, I'd like to respond now.
Hold on, Toasted. Roger still has the floor. Roger?
Yep, let me just make sure. So, Judge Mickey, what you're saying is you feel injured because of the publicity given to the private call.
Absolutely.
Content of the private call. Okay. And go ahead, Toasted. I'd like to hear your response to that.
Yeah, that was actually uploaded as an unlisted URL. And I didn't like hearsay, and I liked fact. And the fact was I was being thrown under the bus.
You threw yourself under the bus.
A good friend of mine, which I'm now going to mute out because I'm speaking right now, and I have been muting and unmuting people, including myself. So, now, I got accused of muting people out on our previous call. I didn't mute people out. That was a false accusation brought forward. And consider this an affidavit. I didn't mute anybody after.
Okay, but that's not what we're talking about, Toasted.
Now,
do you have any interest in making an apology for taking a private call and posting it?
Yes, and it should be known for the record I was reprimanded for that.
I'm asking a different question. Are you willing to make an apology?
Yes, sir.
You have the floor.
I would like to, well, this ain't public, so privately apologize for any wrongdoing and trying to keep the facts straight and protect my own self. I'm sorry.
I do not accept that apology, and the reason I will not accept that apology is because it was all about you and how you're protecting yourself. It was not a real apology, A. And B, you have still not destroyed that file. You cannot say you are sorry for what you are unwilling to fix. I'm sorry.
Oh, I can destroy it.
When somebody says they're sorry to me, they need to make right that thing that they've done wrong. And destroying that file is the only way it's going to happen.
That's a fair request. That's a fair request, Judge Mickey. So, Toasted, how do you reply to her request that you destroy it?
I'm getting into the channel right now. I'm going to make it happen. Give me a second.
If I may?
Okay. Yes, go ahead.
He already told Haywood he would destroy it before, and he did not.
I didn't promise Haywood anything.
He kept it on the board for
his... All right. Mickey, do you have a way to confirm, once he says he's destroyed it, do you have a way to confirm that?
I will talk to Haywood, but that was my comprehension. When she went down, I had said something to her about it, and my comprehension was that that's what was going to happen. So that's why I thought, okay, well, this is good. It's handled. Well, evidently it's not, because he was going to forward that to you guys.
Right, but now he's making a second commitment to erase it. And are you able to verify on your own that it's destroyed, that it's gone?
I would like to be able to, but there's no way that I can physically do that without looking out all over his computer or without looking on his different drives he have. How can I know that? This is one of those things.
I don't know. I was hoping there was some way you could search for it.
Well, I couldn't even search for it before because he had it in his private circle of friends, which I was not part of.
Got it. All right.
Wait, if I may. Which private circle of friends are you referring to?
You have an idea of who those friends are. You explained to all of us that you were sharing it with your friends.
Excuse me, you cannot falsely accuse because I know he doesn't
Hey, stop.
Hey,
Roger has the floor. Roger?
Yep. Bruce, we're really going down a new rat hole, and I don't think we want to go down that one. So,
well, yeah, I think the best we can do now is, we have heard Toasted say that he will delete the file, okay? Right. And that it will no longer be out there. Judge Mickey and Judge Dixie, and Marshall Dixie, if you guys find out that did not happen or if it's still out there, if you will contact Roger or I, then we will get a hold of Toasted and we will address that at that point. For now, I would like to see, hold on. For now, I would like to see everybody put their emotions aside. And, Toasted has apologized. I've heard a lot of people apologize for a lot of things here. I think we need to understand we all make mistakes and that we're all trying to learn to be more righteous. And so let's put an effort forward now for all of us to set this aside and not let it damage us personally or what we're trying to do as a group. Because this stuff does damage what we're doing as a group. And we're all trying to, save this country. Let's not forget that. And let's all work on being more righteous. We all make mistakes, and when we make mistakes, we ask for forgiveness. And let's do that with one another. Please. I yield. Roger, you have the floor.
So I've got to leave the call in about 2 minutes. So, Toasted, I'm asking you, have you erased the file yet? And if not, when you do, will you please send an email to Bruce, myself, Judge Mickey, and Marshall Dixie?
I can't send anything to Judge Mickey. I believe she's blocked me, and that's a belief.
Okay, well, if you just send it to Roger and I, that's fine. Did you get it deleted yet, or are you still working on that?
It's deleted.
It's deleted? I'm sorry, hold on.
Yeah, I'm sending you the old URL that it was under, and it says this has been removed by the user.
Okay, all right.
Now, I cannot just randomly generate that message.
Okay, no,
because once it gets removed, it's removed.
That's fine. You know, what I want us all to remember is sometimes we feel like somebody's attacking us maybe when they're not, and that causes us to get anger. Anger is the devil's tool. Let's leave anger alone, all of us, please, and let's use Heavenly Father's tool. And with that, I'm going to call this call, and I'm going to ask everyone, please get along. If you have any issues, Roger and I are here to help. Okay? Is everybody good with that?
Well, I have one more thing, and that thing was...
Yeah, Reese, bless you.
Hold on. Go ahead, Mickey.
I was just going to say the only other thing that has happened from tonight's call, it needs to be clipped.
Oh, yes, I do agree with that. Toasted, would you, on tonight's call, would you clip where you put the number out there and you know, the description of that, please?
It adds an extra hour or two to the production.
What's that?
It adds an hour or two to the production.
Well, I don't care what it adds. We need to do that before it goes out there, please. Okay, that's a valid request, okay?
Yeah.
We shouldn't be publishing people's private information if we don't have their permission. So
yeah, I don't know who that number was that randomly sent me a message like that.
That's okay.
I thought it was some random troll or something, you know.
That's okay. We've identified it now, so please just delete that. Is everybody okay now?
Yep, I'm good.
Are we good?
I got one thing for Ed.
Okay, go ahead.
Ed, I never released your book to anybody. Like, I still haven't. And the last time we talked, I was waiting to hear from the publisher because we needed to get an outline on how the book was going to be done. But I never got back to that. And then you asked me if I contacted them, and the last thing I told you was, no, I don't have their number. And you never sent me anything. We're going to do an Uber call to talk to
if I may.
Go
ahead. Ed, go ahead and respond to that. And please, let's do this in kind because it sounds like we have so many misunderstandings going on here. So let's not anybody jump to any kind of conclusions. So I heard, an explanation or possible apology. Ed, would you respond, please?
Ed, unmute.
Oh, I'm unmuted now. Yeah, no, I mean, that's the only thing I had. I don't even know how the hell I even got drug into all this crazy shit.
Okay. All right.
Okay? I'm trying to get my stuff done here.
Okay,
I don't want to... And we're all trying to get our stuff done, and we're supposed to be filing this stuff to save our country, and I'm trying to figure out how the hell we ended up arguing over shit that we're all doing that we need to do for each other.
Ed, yield, please. Okay, I'm just trying to get this solved as quickly as possible. Roger's got to go here. So, I think we have all of the issues solved here for now. Thank you, everyone, and good night. And let's play well.
If I may, I've got one more question for Dimitri.
Okay. All right.
Why did you go to DW's house and slander me? Yeah, tell people I smoke. So what? Right now, I've only had one bowl today. Yeah, I'm putting my public habits out there publicly right now. So I want to know.
Yes, it's lawful anyway.
No. Ed, give me a second.
Okay.
I want to know. I really want to know why DJ went over to Dimitri's house and degraded me like Dixie said he did. I want to know.
Okay, hold on. Toasted, first of all, I hear anger in your voice, and I just tried to explain to you, anger is the devil's tool, okay?
Right. I got you.
Okay, so let's just stay calm, and let's not bring the devil into this. Let's keep this with Heavenly Spirits, Heavenly Father Spirit.
I would like a response from DJ.
DJ, would you? Are you okay responding to that, please? And let's keep it short here.
You got to unmute. I just got to notice that he left the call.
Okay. All right. All right. Well, let's leave this whole thing for now, then, please. And if you and DJ if you and DJ have a problem, Toasted, if you want to call, Roger and I will help you with that. Okay. So, all right. Blessings all to everyone, and good night.
I will be calling you very soon, Judge Doucette.
Okay. Thank you, sir. All right. Blessings all.
Thank you,
Good
Roger.
night.
May the Spirit follow you.